need to argue. And yeah, I've had enough. You follow me anywhere I try to be alone. I find you there. There's more to me. Everywhere I try to go alone, I find you there. You follow me anywhere I try to be alone, I find you there. Oh, there's more to me. Anywhere I try to be alone, I find you there. I find you there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Moving with Life. Thanks for joining me today. Today is the 23rd of February. It is Wednesday. It took me a few times to remember what day today was. I feel like I haven't been here forever. It's only been like a week. The way everything ended up on last Friday, whatever day that ended up being, I should have pushed. I had downloaded the content, but it took longer than I wanted it to. So I'm like, you know what? I'll wait to push the video till Monday, which it was an older, and it was audio only. And it was balanced because like I'm trying to obviously bring new content and stuff like that. But I actually started thinking about, okay, do I want to push new? Do I want to push like excerpts from like older episodes, or how do I want to do that? Because I feel like I need to. I need to make more TikToks as far as content goes, and I know that, and some of it's been just because things have been kind of rough, and I'm in like a transit mind, so I'm like packing my stuff at the same time that I'm like trying to continue to do this at least while I can, because I want to, I can't tell you why I want to create I don't know the why yet, but some of the why is me. Okay, it's a lie. Some of the why is because I use this to kind of decompress and kind of get out of my own head for a little while. And even though for now it's a one-way conversation, it helps me just kind of get my thoughts on I make myself get my thoughts on paper, and then from there I talk here. I figure it out. I'm regurgitating this, but it's just the principle of me putting my thoughts on paper, formulating some type of just agenda. It's not really it is a plan, but it's not like a concrete plan. It's just all my thoughts, things, highlights that I've had, whether it's questions or ideas, and then I try to bring it here and we talk for 30 minutes on a good day, something like a little bit longer, because it's like, okay, I know I'm only gonna do one episode, then I'll try to do a little bit longer, I'll try to go for an hour, and then and also, in doing that, it makes me, whether I go 30 minutes or an hour, it's also me trying to get better at navigating my sentences, navigating my stories as well. I feel like I feel like I had more stories to like tell, and I had thought about pre-recording this, and then I could just release it right now, and you can watch it right now, which I could have probably done, but I didn't, and here we are, and we're live, and it's okay. Everything's okay. Everything here's okay. If y'all aren't aware yet, and I don't know when you'll see this exactly if you're not currently watching this live at this moment, but the whole Russia and Ukraine thing's getting crazy. I'll say crazier, but it's been kind of building over the past 2 weeks. It's kind of weird how these people kind of take the weekends off and then they pick up right on Monday, just pick up right where they left off, and then decide what they're gonna do next. So you can go to the news, you can go to the BBC, you can go to Google, whatever you use for news, and you'll probably see something about Russia and Ukraine. And it sucks because I guess one of the tie-ins that I thought about, because I just saw this and I'm talking with friends and whatnot about the situation, it's made me go back to a story. I don't know. I feel like I've told it very poorly on the podcast before, but I can repeat it because I feel like whatever this situation leads to, whatever this issue with Russia and Ukraine and other world powers getting involved, China, Ukraine's also getting backup from the U.S. and other countries as well. But it's made, and getting to this moment, it's made me think about good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. It's the short. I believe it's a Chinese proverb, but I've heard it on podcasts now from multiple people, and it seems like it's a proverb, and it's come from different angles, but it's all the same thing. Because it's the one that I heard was just one of the professors that I had when I was in business school. It was his last lecture to us, and the short story is this farmer. We'll say a farmer. He had a son, and then the son got a horse, and the neighbors and the people were like, oh, you got your son has a horse. It's a very nice horse. It's awesome. Maybe you can do something with that horse. And the dad's like, good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. And then the next piece. So then time passed by. The son's now on the horse, riding him. Going about his day. Falls off the horse, breaks his arm, and the town says, "Oh man, that's terrible. That's terrible. It's terrible that your son broke his arm. Like that sucks. This is terrible." The dad's like, good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. Then a war breaks out, and they're taking everybody's firstborn male to go fight this war, and the town's like, oh, you lucked out. Your son doesn't have to go, and dad still says, good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. And the premise at the end of that, when we had that lecture, was, there's certain events, certain things that happen. And initially, it could be very much in our control. It could be very much out of our control. In that immediate event, we kind of don't know yet. Maybe you have an idea of what you want. Maybe you have an idea of what the outcome could be based on any context you already know. But like COVID and everything else has been going on, I feel like, at least from my perspective, with all these issues and things collectively building up, and when we look back at new data, or we look back at the collected data, and then see where we're at now, it's like, oh, the shot is X amount effective, and the COVID virus itself is this. It's actually this. This is what's actually happened in the past 2 years. It's a terrible frame, but I just want to give a general frame of again, whatever this ends up turning into, 5 years from now, we're gonna look back and it's gonna be like it, and we're gonna think, oh man, it's bad luck. It sucks that this happens. I hate this happened, or I like that this happened. And at the end of the day, what I think is good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. We don't know. Kind of goes back to. I don't know if I mentioned it on here because I sent the video. This was a short TikTok excerpt of Tom Hanks, of this too shall pass, and on there he talks about if you're having a bad day, you're down on your luck, you're not where you want to be in that moment, this too shall pass, and then you think and then you're now in a good moment, you're now in a good space, and and you think you know it all, or you're in a certain situation where you're confident. Maybe even egotistical, bordering that, you're on that borderline, and it's like this too shall pass. Good moments pass and bad moments pass, but it will pass. And his point at the end of that little piece was, if it's too good to be true, or if it's too bad, terrible, just give it time to play out. It's hard, because I can go into stoicism, and I've been in the same boat of getting too far into my head, even lately. I haven't been walking as much. I've been going to the gym, but it's been sporadic. I haven't been outside as much as I should. I'm not going to say as much as I want to. I used to use that word a lot more, and lately it's like, oh no, I should be doing a ton of things, but I haven't been doing it. So it's like, okay, kind of a little bit of regression to figure out, okay, how am I going to continue trying to make progress with whatever I'm doing. All that ties into today, and we're here and talking and moving on from the good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. I feel like another question that, and it didn't come up because of this, but I feel like I can tie it in. 'Cause I was thinking about this for myself. Cause I remember driving, and I don't remember why I wrote this down. And it's not a new question. It's not, at least for me, it's not a new question. It's not the first time I've heard it like this. But what are you willing to suffer for? And I think some of it had to go with thinking about how can I be a good coworker, a good, better leader, a more effective person of society. Because I feel like society's changing, and these coming generations, they're not motivated by money, really. They think they are, in my opinion. They think they are. I don't think they are. Because then if they had all the money in the world, then they wouldn't be doing, in some cases, not all cases, in some cases, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing now if you give them $1 million, right? Or if you gave them all the money in the world. And even then, sometimes, because I've heard Shaq and I've heard different people say, Steve Harvey, I've heard these guys talk about where you can give all the money, but, if the person still has trauma or underlying circumstances or things that they're scared of or things that they haven't been taught, they're still going to run out of that money's still going to run out. Money's usually not it's not the issue at hand. It's not the actual issue. Maybe it's part of it. Maybe it's part of the stress, but it's not the defining issue that's going to solve all the problems. And anyway, so going back to the premise of, what are you willing to suffer for? I'm talking about it here because it's helped me kind of unfold the question itself. Jordan Peterson talks a lot about suffering and how life is suffering. When you're in the Bahamas or you're in Mexico or you're on a beach somewhere or you're drinking margaritas or whatever with your friends or family or wife or whoever that circle is, like that, those are moments in time, but it doesn't last forever. Because eventually you have to go back, and if you're still miserable, then it's not what's the point, but it's like you're still miserable. Then there's things that need to be addressed, and so it's kind of the deep end of it, the kind of deep end of this of what are you willing to suffer for. But I feel like there's something there with these next generations because obviously things are changing. The way they're able to take in content is crazy. I can't keep up. I don't try to keep up anymore. Not that I ever try to keep up like consciously, but it's like, but I have consciously been thinking about, how can I help my fellow colleagues and my friends, that are younger than me, maybe not be motivated to want to do our job long term. We're talking 10 years, 20 years, but get them into a direction where they can figure out, what's the next step in their plan? What's the next plan? What's their next step? What do they have a plan? And trying to figure out that again, it's all. I feel like it feels like mashed potatoes. It just feels mashed in a bunch of things together because everybody has different motivations for why they are where they are now. You included, me included. But I'd like to. It's one of those things where I'm not trying to find a solution, but I am looking for a way to help people progress. People that I know, and again, this is me talking out loud and documenting what I'm thinking, what I'm thinking about. Because at the end of the day, it's like I know what's helped me, so I can give those stories. As far as how I approached college and changing my degrees, and I was playing music, and now I'm here. Now I'm doing what I'm doing. As far as healthcare goes, total left field, total lateral move. Is it lateral? Would it be lateral move? No, I think a non-lateral move. I think. See, something right there. Yeah. Because I've heard the term lateral move, but I don't know if this is lateral move. As far as going from music to now healthcare. But nonetheless, we're here. So we're here as far as the topic of this. What are you willing to suffer for? what are you willing to not procrastinate? Here's something that I can, try to think for myself, because I feel like I don't procrastinate a ton, but I procrastinate enough to where I feel guilty about it. And it's like, okay, that's not a type of suffering that I'd like to be going through, because at the end of the day, then I feel guilty and I feel like, I feel like I haven't done anything. So that's another just premise that I'm trying to unfold, for a bigger picture and then for myself too, because when I make the jump to attempting, whether it's podcasting and writing full time, whatever that may look like, I gotta keep my head on straight. And this is my opinion. What I think is, as far as keeping the vision and keeping the picture in vision, keeping that goal in sight. And again, the goal is not to how can I phrase this? Because at the end of the day, there's a handful of people, 2 handfuls of people that I talk to pretty much on a daily basis. And if I can reach more via YouTube and social media, that's great. But at the end of the day, because I feel like we all still retract ourselves to our circle, whoever that circle may be, whether it's family or not, whether it's friends or not, friends and family, whatever that circle, whatever that little bundle looks like. It's keeping all those things in frame, right? All right, quick right turn, because I should have probably started. I should have started with. I usually start with like how the stock market is doing. I usually start with, kind of dive deep right away, just because the whole Ukraine versus Russia, Ukraine and Russia situation. That was fresh in my mind. Like good luck, bad luck. So, anyways, moving forward. Last Friday, didn't go live because I went to watch Chris D'Elia live, and Eric Griffin was there. Brittany Schmidt. I feel like I had seen her before, like on a podcast, but I didn't know that was her name, and now I do. Very interesting and pretty dark humor on her set, but it was awesome. It was cool because my first comedy show, and Chris D'Elia was the headliner, so it was Brittany Schmidt, Eric Griffin, Brendan Schaub, who I've seen. I mean, he has a bunch of podcasts, King of the Sting, Fighter and the Kid. He has one that has to do with like MMA and what's it called? It's now called the Schaub Show. He has it on his YouTube channel. But Chris D'Elia headlined. But it was awesome. It's like it was its own vibe, but it was very familiar to me. The PA, the way stage was set up. There's lights. There was a MC. That did a good job, and it's interesting because there's a lot of. I guess I've on TikTok and stuff I've seen where there's like hecklers and whatnot, and up where I got to see Chris D'Elia and these guys. There was boundaries, there was rules, no heckling, no photo video, which is that's pretty common now, which is pretty cool. It's dope. Finally, show kind of kicked off. Waiters and servers were running around. You order everything online on an app, QR code. You order it and then they just bring you everything. It was the whole. Again, this was for me. It was my first show, so I didn't know what to expect. A lot of the vibe was the same vibe as a live show. Just now you're watching somebody talk and tell, and for the most part tell the stories. And I was telling some of the premises of the jokes to people, some of my coworkers and whatnot. I don't want to bring them to here because I want you to go check. You can go check out their podcast. You can go check out their comedy. Some of it's special. Chris D'Elia has specials on I think on Netflix. The first time I saw one of his comedy specials, but you can find all their stuff I think podcasting is probably going to be your best bet to see them live, or see what they're about and see whether you might like them or not, if they're funny to you or not. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that just to kind of lighten the load for today's episode, because it was very cool. Their ability to navigate, I will say, I'm not gonna say it has been very influential on me, but watching them on podcasts and then watching them transition to, a 25-minute set, 15-minute set, 35, and then a 45-minute set. That was progression. Is like 15, 20 minutes and like 25 minutes, then like 30, 35 minutes, and then 45. Crazy, they did like 45-minute set. It's like for the majority, like there were like it was like a set list. Like they have like this, and then they start the next premise, and then they start the next premise, and then their time's up. Whatever, depending on how much time they have, then the time's up. Even Chris D'Elia, it seemed like it got to a certain point where it's like, okay, I'm done. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for coming out. But it was awesome watching them navigate. And so then I was driving home because obviously I had enough time to freaking. It was like a little over an hour drive for me to get there and then come back. Because I knew who was going to be I knew Chris D'Elia was going to be headlining, but I knew who was going to be there, like as far as the lineup. So I wanted to catch a set before I couldn't catch a set, or before I can't catch a set. And so I was thinking, I'm no comedian at all, but to throw myself out on a limb there, I started thinking, I'm like, man, these guys have like awesome jokes, and the way they incorporate the world, but with their point of views, and they all have opinions. I'm like, okay, I need to do that more. And it's interesting because episodes back, I had put an excerpt of Brendan Shaw with Brian Callen on Fighter and the Kid. They were talking about Brendan Shaw was talking about generally, no matter what his opinion is, like he'll say it, no matter what rebuttal he gets. And I forgot why they got into this, because this was before this was months ago, because this was before the Joe Rogan thing and all these other dilemmas that were arising in the mainstream media. But yeah, I think that's what I want to talk about for that one. Well, no, I guess what I was gonna say is because my drive home, I was, man, like how did they come up with these jokes? I'm like, and then I started thinking like, well, why? How did it? I'm like, why did the chicken cross the road? I'm like, why the fuck did the chicken cross the road? I was like, don't cross the road. And then I started thinking about like, what would my mom say if I say, hey mom, why did the chicken cross the road? She's like, dumb chicken. And I said, I mean, what would my grandma say if the chicken cross the road? And I actually don't want to say what my grandma would say. It's not that bad. It's just a vulgar way of saying stupid chicken in Spanish. And for my friends and family that either knew my grandma, or know what saying stupid but worse in Spanish is, then you can guess what that is. But that's as far as my comedy thoughts went, because then I got home, I went to sleep, and then I think I went to work the next day or something. No, I didn't. I didn't go to work. I went to go see friends. That's what I did. But anyways, all that, the hour drive back, I was like, man, why did the chicken cross road? I'm like, fucking chicken, like, whatever. Anyways, we move on. So then, that was Friday. Then Saturday, I hung out with friends that I hadn't seen in a long time. That was awesome. It was a great time. Really, there were several little moments where I just stood back and people were literally saying, "Hey, are you good? Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm just vibing. But in that vibing, what I was, I'm not gonna say what I was actually doing, but I guess what I was actually doing was just enjoying the moment. Some of these people I've met over the past couple of years, and really at the beginning of COVID, well, pre-COVID, and then we were together during COVID a lot of the time. It was like, man, there was several little instances in that evening and night that we're all hanging out, that I just kind of sat back and I sat on the couch and I was like looking and watching everybody converse and laugh and BS and have a good time. And And then little by little, everybody started, going their own way, going home, wherever that may be, going to sleep, whatever. And like, man, like, I felt I was appreciative in that moment. And it's not that I haven't been, or that I don't try to be, but sitting back and just feeling the vibe of the room, it felt good. It's like, okay, cool. They said this was nice. And again, at some point, several moments, like, hey, are you good? I'm like, I'm actually great. Like, because there's no words for it. For me, there's no words for it when you meet a group of people that, for one, you get along with, because that's hard to come by, to have a group of people that you get along with. But then you've gone through like little moments of turmoil, the good luck, bad luck type of situation where, oh, this sucks, but then it's actually not that bad, because then you think about like also that you've been through with these people, and 2 years later, you're like, oh, this is right now. This feels right. This is good. I'm gonna soak it in by I just kind of sit there and maybe they thought I was getting bored or something, and I really wasn't. I was just enjoying the people's my friends' company, and some new friends too that I made when I was there. It was awesome. But that leads me to then Sunday, and so it's been kind of building up, and it's been at literally at the forefront because it's been causing a headache. So I've been having this freaking toothache, and it's been annoying, and I thought it would go away, because I had a cap done. I don't know, like it would be a month ago, like Friday or something, that I'll have this cap that I had this filling done. I was like, cool, I'm good to go. Doctor's like, hey, like we patched you up, we're good to go, cool. So then that evening, I was like, man, it was a little sore. And I'm like, well, they just did the procedure, like my they numb you up and stuff. They use lidocaine or whatever they use, lidocaine, and I'm like, well, that should be normal. I'm coming off the local anesthetic, which just numbs the whole area, and so I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a couple of days, and then hopefully it'll go away. And if it doesn't, I'll take some ibuprofen. Maybe it'll just take a little bit longer. The doc said it was a deeper feeling. Blah blah. So okay. I'm like, it's my fault. Like I have no one to be mad at, just myself for getting these fillings done. So then 3 days pass by, and it's like the same-ish, and it's like throbbing at moments, but then it's not too bad. And I start taking ibuprofen, Tylenol. It's like, okay, and then as that is happening, I am managing my work schedule, doing the podcast, trying to push out my last point, which I'll bring up here in a bit. It's not a project, it's a thing, and we'll get there, because it's all going to lead to that thing, and then we'll wrap it up. Anyways, so I started taking ibuprofen, Tylenol. I'm like, man, should I make an appointment? And the medicine would work. The over the counter stuff would work, and I was like, do I want to? Do I want to? Like, I dread it. I'm already, and then I'm half annoyed too. It's just like, I just kind of want to throw. It's like, I just want to be done with it, but then I don't want to go, and I'm like back and forth. Finally, fast forward, Friday's comedy show, Saturdays with friends. Sunday, I have just this explosion in my head, and it hurts, and I take all the meds, and it doesn't work, and I considered going to get seen on Sunday, and I was like, I don't want to wait. I'm like, man. And then to top it off, tomorrow, which was just me talking to myself on Sunday, I was like, I don't want to wait. And then it's a freaking holiday tomorrow, which, it's not the holiday's fault. It's my fault. I was just upset in the moment, okay? And I was like, I don't want to go. And I was there, and I survived Monday. So lo and behold, obviously, I survived Monday. And I said, you know what, this is enough. Because then I couldn't sleep. I finally got seen by a dentist on Tuesday, which is yesterday. And got me better. I still have a couple things I need to do as far as that tooth goes, but I'm at least not dying today. Because Sunday they could have yanked the tooth out and I wouldn't have cared. It would have been fine. They would have been, hey, all we can do is take out your tooth. I said, bet, take it. I don't want to see it ever again. I don't care. But I waited, and I'm kind of glad I waited. I don't really have an opinion. I'm glad I'm not in pain. That's probably the biggest thing. My doctor and the assistant, we'll say, was awesome, and it worked out. And so again, I have a couple more things I need to do with the tooth, but at least I'm not dying, and we're here, and it's all good. So, how was I gonna transition this? Oh, I guess just in general. So like, building up and reading a lot of Seth Godin again. Reading because he posts a blog every day. And sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're super short, and they're like it's like 2-sentence paragraph, like a 2-sentence paragraph, 2-sentence little structure there, 3 sentences, 4 sentences, and sometimes they're they're a little bit longer. Between him and then listening to, I think it's Cal Newport. Cal Newport, I think that's his name. On Tim Ferriss, I've been listening to a lot of Tim Ferriss lately, a lot of Jocko lately too, and finally, and this is all gonna unveil on come Monday, February 28th, which is the last day of February, and there's a plan. My goal is to, at the very least, if I can't bring a video 1 to 2 times a week, if I can at least do what I can with the video and then bring a monthly blog post, then that'll be something, because I guess the goal is that'll be another way for me to channel my my thoughts, because I have a lot of trust in like Jordan Peterson, Jocko, all these guys that they do podcasts, but they also write, and that's my intention. My intention is to become a better speaker, because it definitely helps me when I go to work and speak there, and whether it's like, I have some time to chat with my friends, or if I'm actually dealing with a situation, I can communicate effectively. And so writing is the next stem that I'm trying to. I've written, but like now I'm gonna be basically documenting on a website what I'm either thinking or a premise that I'm like I want to write about this because this is very important to me. The first one will be out on February 28th. But that's been another little dash on my, we'll say, to-do list, but it's something that I had started, then I stopped, and I was moving with life. I was doing movingwithlife.co and moving with life. I don't know what other ones I use, and then I was like, what if I use Kratos? Because I was on a whole Kratos binge. It actually has nothing to do with the video game. I actually found that on my own because I don't play much video games, besides my Quest, and that's I'm playing Onward, but this is pre-VR stuff. So Kratos was a thing that I discovered because I wanted a cool nickname when I was a trainer at 9 Round. But February 28th will be my first blog post it's going to be Andy Acosta. I'm used saying Acosta because of work. So andyacosta.blog is going to be the website where you're going to be able to see my favorite pictures that I've taken. And then whether it's a story or a thought that ties into a story, or a story that I have for a thought that I've had, a new one or an old one. I probably will repeat myself a lot, just like I do here. It's because there's certain themes that I've found to be important, and side note, a new value that I think I'm going to be pondering on to see if it's a true value for me. True value. Is being very good at the basics. Because what I'm doing in healthcare now, and now that I'm able to teach, whether it's new people or the way we kind of do things where I work, because they came from a different place, whatever. There's different situations. One thing that I have harped on is like you got to be very good at the basics because that's what's going to get you through, and be successful at our position. You know, at when we work in emergency medicine. And then I started thinking, I'm like, man, what like. Because I on TikTok I watch like baseball videos and guitars, you know, on Instagram too, with baseball, guitar, whatever, and it's like, man, like what got me through those times, and if I could go back and just relive it again, like what got me through it, and it's like being very good at the basics, you know, in baseball, you know, I was a catcher in baseball, so like being able to stop the ball, obviously throw the ball, like some of those basics, yes, but also the mindset of got to do A, B, and C, and then I didn't know it then, but looking back at it now, the training I did and all this stuff that I got to do, it's like, man, you have to be very, very good at the basics to then be able to capture and elevate yourself as in my case, a catcher, but like whatever you want. So again, this goes to a macro thing of why I'm going to be pondering on this for a little bit to see if this is the right wording, because it's the simplest wording I found for when I talk to coworkers or the people. You know, gotta be good at the basics. Gotta be good at the basics. And so yeah. Excuse me. So a part of this entire journey is andyacosta.blog, ANDYACOSTA.blog. And we'll see what it turns into. Again, I do intend on being as genuine as I can as I am here. Next time you see me live, it'll probably be in a different. The view will be a little bit different, but I will try my best to continue these live streams as best I can, and try to be not equally lighthearted, because my default is aggressive. My default is serious, but I will say there's been some influence on going to see Chris D'Elia and friends. Making that drive to go up there and seeing the way this process is done in the comedy world, watching them transition from podcasting to that. Try to be a little more lighthearted. I think I have tried to, because I try to I bring in like different things as far as like whether it's football or I like sport. I like sports in general. Stock market. I'm really light about the stock market because it's like it's just a game. That's the way I see it. I can go into details later on because I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but just have lighthearted moments too on here, because it's not all serious, but I also enjoy things. I feel like my first impression for the most part is just like serious, and for the most part it is like that's my default. My default is just especially when it's people I don't know. It's just like, oh, I'm just I'm me. But then as time goes by, you chat and converse and meet people and learn about people, and then you figure out either a common space, a common thing that you're all interested in or whatever. So it's all navigating. I think that's part of the theme of today's episode, just navigating, and good luck, bad luck, only time will tell. I'm gonna get ready to wrap here pretty soon. Yeah. Funny thing is, I guess my last little lighthearted thing is, tell you for what it is, because it's not meant to be offensive, but I think it's hilarious. Is God saved the Queen. God literally saved the Queen. And God said, you can go back to work. You got COVID, but you can go back to work. At least that's what what is it? It says Queen carries on with light duties after COVID symptoms. So it's like, does she have COVID or does she not have COVID? Buckingham, I'm getting this from BBC.com news/UK. The Queen is working on light duties at Windsor Castle this week, despite testing positive. Okay, so she did test positive for COVID. Royal officials say. Buckingham Palace confirmed on Sunday that the Queen, 95, was experiencing mild cold-like symptoms. Light duties likely likely includes reading state papers, which usually takes up a significant chunk of nearly every day. State paper. I'm guessing it's like probably like rules and laws or something. I don't know. Stuff that not public stuff, but what's the word? Not publicity. What's the word? Like the government. Now I really lost it. Not priorities. Politics. Yeah, that took a minute. I guess maybe it's politics. I don't know. I'm reading this for the first time, but I just thought it was hilarious. It's like, God save the Queen. I mean, she's 95. Her chances of getting COVID and just because of age. Again, I'm very neutral here, and whenever you see this, you'll take it however you take it. But I just thought it was funny because it's like she returns light duties after she gets tested positive. It's like, yeah. So mood at the Windsor Castle is one of caution and no major cause for alarm. How's that? The mood at Windsor Castle is one of caution and no major so you have caution, but you have no major cause for alarm. Kind of doesn't make sense to me. See, the BBC correspondent added that there is a sense it will be business as usual as much as possible for the Queen, but the Queen's medical team will likely be keeping a very close eye on her, especially as she is considerably thinner and frailer than she was last year. Well, she's 95. Let her rest. Like, at least she looks happy. She looks happy in this picture. I don't know when the picture was taken, but this article is from 2 days ago, and I sent this article to some friends. No, I'll say a bunch of friends. I didn't send it to a bunch of friends. Just a few friends. But I was like, God save the Queen. He literally did. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that... I wonder... Let's see. Interesting. So the son, who's the heir and Prince of Wales, 73 years old, tested positive on 10 February, 2 days after the pair had met each other. Interesting. Number of people have also tested positive at the castle where the Queen lives. There's no public engagements. They'll probably be postponed, or there'll be video meetings. While on light duties, it is likely the Queen will be reading documents from UK government ministers, Commonwealth representatives sent to her every day, approving and signing them where necessary. So yeah, political stuff, just political stuff. Her doing her Queen things and just making some there. And well, I hope she's gonna be 96 in April. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm really deep diving into this article now. Good for me. See, that's a thing that makes me very positive. Like, I don't know when it's gonna be your time. I don't know what's gonna be my time. I really don't. But when I read like stories like this, or we get to a point where like, oh, the Queen will be 96 in April, it's like, that's freaking awesome. Imagine a lot of people. Okay, let me phrase this the best I can. People that I've met that are younger than me, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna live to be 30. I'm like, you're gonna be 30. And they're like, well, I want to be 40. I'm like, you're going to live to 120 just based on how good our healthcare is. And so anyways, just to stay in here, and we're going to wrap up here in a second. I'm going to be done with that article. But it does make me optimistic. Like, imagine living 96 years. Like, that's pretty dope. Let me see what year she was born in. So, what's 100 years from ago? Like, 20, so we... 1922 would be 100, so she's born like 1920. Queen of Liz age. She's 95. She was born in 1920 something. 1926. So there you go. 1926. By the time World War II got started, she was already in her 20s, so she's pretty conscious at that point. And she was already, in her. I don't know if she was necessarily a queen yet. She knew she was gonna be eventually. But I think what makes me optimistic about living 96 years plus is just, I don't know, just you get to. That is the experience of life. That is what life is. Life is, again, I don't know when your time is. I don't know when my time is. But I definitely know or feel, I don't know, but I definitely feel just positive vibe. Like, oh, she's 95, going to be 96. Maybe she will live to 100. That's pretty awesome. Betty White almost did. I mean, that was, I was only sad about that one because it's like she almost made it. She almost made it, but not quite. It's like, oh man, that was. I mean, to say it wasn't depressing, I was like, okay, I'd be lying if it weren't. But it's like, oh, you're so close, so close. But I mean, here we are. So, yeah, I'll leave you all with that. Stay safe. Stay safe. Making my words together. See, this is why talking out loud, it helps me be better, because I don't like when that happens, especially if I'm talking to a person like, face to face. Take care of yourself. I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying. I assure you I'm trying. Tell your loved ones that you love them. Call you love them. Hopefully this whole Ukraine-Russia thing won't last long, but we'll see. Stay safe to our military friends out there holding the line. Hold the line and have each other's backs. Because again, there's a balance of like trying to be lighthearted, but then I can't help but be serious at the end of the day, because things are going on, things happen, and we should try to navigate as best we can. So take care of yourself mentally and physically. I think I've said this, I think I repeat myself every once in a while. So take care of yourself mentally and physically. Lead from the front if you have a team. If you're the breadwinner for the household, awesome. That's good. If you're not, it's okay. Everybody has their part in the machine, whatever that machine is. Stay safe. We're almost at the end of February, which is pretty dope. I hope that you've had a good February. I haven't had a bad February. It's just this tooth that I'm getting figured out, but definitely not bad. It's been a nice month, I'll say. Interesting weather as far as the cold goes, but I don't want to keep rambling too much. Is there anything else? andyacosta.blog. The website is live, but the first blog won't be up until Monday the 28th. andyacosta.blog. That's where you're going to start being able to find all the links to like YouTube, and all the links will be there. All the links will be there. Instagram, Twitter, the whole shebang will be at andyacosta.blog, and we'll see what happens. I try not to get myself too far in the future, but it's a balancing act that I'm going through right now. But everything's okay, and we will convene here, not here, but we will convene here very soon. Yeah, y'all have a good one. Let me start this up. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of the week. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Back to time. I've been busy running my mouth dry, speaking lines about to find higher hopes and sensibilities meant for me. Let's dive in, create a problem just to fix it. The perfect fit. We're back to time, catching up on all the things we missed, all our interests.